Good morning. It's Lisa from Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to talk about distraction. I want to talk about the ways we use distraction in chronic illness and how it's serving us and how it is hurting us. There are many ways that distraction serves us when we are in chronic illness. Sometimes things are so bad. Sometimes the voices in our head, the things that our internal being are telling us and saying to us are so painful. They're so deep. They're so powerful. And they're so overwhelming that we have almost no choice but to look away, but to just try to distract in order to stay alive, in order to survive. So a lot of us with serious acute or chronic illness are in this situation. The pain may be so unbearable. The symptoms may be so overwhelming. The emotions so deep and raw. The trauma is so alive and vibrant. And the words, your mind and your body may be saying even, kill yourself. There's no point. You will never get better, right? You may be up against a completely negative, hopeless, and helpless inner world at that point. Your body's going crazy, your mind's going crazy. All your symptoms are screaming for you at once. Look at me. Look at me. I want to tell you what's wrong. But it's so much. It's almost like we can't focus on one voice. We can't address the pain or the symptoms or the voices, the emotions, the traumas, the past stories, the losses, whatever it is, because it's coming all at once in a big hurricane. And sometimes the only thing we can do is run away. And since we literally can't run away from ourselves, the only thing that we can do is distract. To distract from the current overwhelm of sensations, emotions going on inside us, in our inner world, in order that we may survive until a moment when we can look deeper and turn toward. So distraction can be in severe cases where you're considering suicide or self-harm or giving up, the next best option, the next best thing to do, to just distract, to just try to engage your mind in something that feels a little bit better than the thing that you're doing right now, to watch a movie, to do something. And yes, you're running away from it all. So you're not going to solve it. This is not how we fix something. This is not how we cure it. And it's not how we have any breakthroughs or any forward movement of your current or chronic illness or condition. But it is, and it can be used in moments of overwhelm and complete, despair. It can get us through to the next moment. So distraction can be used in a good way when we have to use it as a survival technique in order to get us through to a softer place, a place that's a little bit better, that we may now do what is required by not using distraction to actually heal ourselves. So I wanted to get that out of the way first, because distraction is not all bad. It can be used, and I have used it many times in order to survive. Okay, so let's take survival out of the mix for a minute. If we're doing slightly better and we're not at risk of harming ourselves or killing ourselves or completely losing it or going over the edge, or we're not in a situation that's a life or death situation right now, then distraction is basically a way to hang on. You're hanging on to your illness, you're avoiding it, you're turning away from it, and you're not actually healing it. So it won't, long term, it can't and it won't help heal you. So if you're using distraction as a coping mechanism to get through your chronic illness, just know that at some point the distraction method turns against you. It is no longer useful for you. Because what is happening? You have two worlds. You have your exterior world and your internal world. And your internal world is basically the world inside your body, inside, like from your skin inside. Okay, so when we close our eyes and we focus on that internal world, usually our inner knowing, our inner voice, our inner intuition, our inner guidance, our soul, whatever you want to call it, speaks to us. It speaks to us in a myriad of ways throughout the day. It speaks to us in sensations, thoughts, emotions, feelings, physical sensations. It speaks to us. And its main goal is to get attention, is to have you look at it. Because what's going on when your inner world is constantly speaking in negatives to you, negative sensations, negative body sensations, negative thoughts, negative emotions, negatives. Everything's negative, right? Your inner world the terrain is mostly negative. That's because you're not living in congruency with who you want to be, with what your inner world is telling you is important to you, with who you are. You're turning away from your intuition, from your inner knowing, from your soul, from that voice that is trying to guide you. And they're far apart. So your body and your soul, your voice, tries to get you to look at it. That's its main goal. Look at me. I'm trying to show you where you're out of alignment. I'm trying to show you what's wrong. I'm trying to show you why your life is a mess, where you're in pain, what you're having a hard time facing or dealing with or coping with, where your traumas are, I'm trying to guide you. I'm trying to show you that you need to turn towards this and reconcile with it, to heal it, to work through it, to come to peace with it before you will feel whole again and complete, and before you can, start to feel joy and healthy and health and everything else. So your body constantly is trying to talk to you. But if we are distracting ourselves, we're continually looking away. We're continually saying to ourselves, to that inner knowing, that inner voice inside us, what you have to say isn't important. I can't deal with you. I don't want to face you. I don't want to look at you. So I'm just going to watch TV. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to practice a hobby. I'm going to try my very best to ignore you. And what ends up happening, as any of you know with chronic illness or chronic symptoms, the pain increases, the symptoms increase, everything ratchets up as you're trying your hardest to ignore it and live your life and distract against it. Your body is saying, look at me. It's turning it up. It's turning it up. And we try harder. We distract harder. We turn away harder. We say, no, I will not look at you. No, child, go away. Stop pulling on my leg. Right? Go to bed. Mom needs its time alone. I can't look at you. I won't look at you. You're all negative. You make me feel bad. You make me feel terrible. I don't want to let you win. I don't want to wallow in my misery. Right? That is not what your inner voice is trying to get you to do. Although it may be negative feelings that you need to acknowledge, although it may be negative sensations that are trying to get your attention, it's for a reason. It's saying, look at me, listen to me. I have guidance for you. I have knowledge for you. I have important information for you. I can show you exactly where you're hurting, where your life is falling apart, what is bothering you the most. I can point to and lead you on a trail of self-discovery that will help you unravel and unwind exactly what you need to face and come to peace about and work through and feel okay about before we can move on, right? It's your body's way of saying this. So while distraction can be used in emergency situations and life-threatening situations as a good thing, as a way to survive and get to the next moment, when we're in the next moment, we actually need to turn, whether we like it or not, whether it's uncomfortable or not, whether it is terrible or not. And we need to sit with that voice, sit with that child, sit with that being, that inner knowing, that guidance system, your soul, that your very essence and your being and say, what do you want to show me? What hurts? Why do you hurt?